Does meat cause cancer?
In 2015, a report on meat causing cancer was released by IARC, the International Agency for Research on Cancer.
They said if you eat 100 grams of meat every single day, your likelihood of cancer is increased by 17%. And if you eat 50 grams of processed meat every single day, then your risk of colon cancer increases by 18%. So what is this 2015 IARC study based on? Well, let me explain it to you. This IARC report was based on 22 scientists from 10 countries around the world who met for 2 weeks in France. They considered 800 studies before finally coming to the conclusion that red meat causes cancer and is a class 2A carcinogen. In 2018, a more detailed version of this study was released to the public, and it showed that only 14 of the 800 claimed studies was used in their conclusions. Let me go through those 14 studies for you. Of the 14 epidemiological studies from the IARC report, 8 of them show no statistical correlation between meat consumption and cancer. Of the 6 remaining studies, only 1 study showed a statistically significant correlation between red meat and colon cancer. This study was of a Seventh-day Adventist group in America, a religious group who advocate a plant-based diet. In the Adventist study, the author notes that the highest correlations between colon cancer and red meat consumption was with individuals who were obese, overweight, and had higher levels of insulin resistance. We already know that there is a strong correlation between obesity, insulin resistance, and colon cancer. Wouldn't you say that the colon cancer risk is increased by the insulin resistance and the obesity, not the red meat consumption?
It's worth noting that all of these studies were based on epidemiology. Epidemiology studies tend to produce less reliable data.
Now let me explain to you why epidemiological studies are unreliable. The problem with epidemiological studies is their inability to link cause and effect, as well as the obscurity of confounding factors. An epidemiological study might say that red meat causes cancer, but then base this information off participants who very well may be smoking, drinking, and not exercising. How can we discern from people who are insulin resistant and obese versus the people like myself who exercise every day, go in the sauna every day, cold water therapy, and eat meat? In 2013, there was a large study done on 200,000 Asian participants which investigated the correlation between red meat and mortality. The study showed a decrease in cardiovascular mortality and cancer mortality in men and women, respectively, who ate meat. In one of the studies that was excluded from the 800 studies in the IARC report, rats were injected with an agent that caused colon cancer and were fed chicken, bacon, and standard chow for 100 days. The researchers found no increase in colon cancer with the addition of meat. Animal studies are clearly not as good as human studies. Currently, there are no finished human interventional trials that link cancer with meat consumption.